Welcome to Speaking English Academy, English Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Crossroads. I'm your host, Emma, and today we're dedicating our entire episode to a question I get asked more than any other. Why is it so incredibly hard to get past the beginner or intermediate level? Why do we feel like we've hit a brick wall? You know, the journey starts so well. You learn your first words. You can say, hello, how are you? You feel that surge of accomplishment. And then, for so many, the progress slows down. It becomes frustrating, and the language that was once a fun adventure starts to feel like a chore. Over the past few months, I've been gathering stories from learners just like you, all over the world. I've heard from a software engineer in Brazil who's brilliant with code, but freezes in a team meeting when he has to speak English. I've heard from a young woman in South Korea who can read entire novels in English but struggles to order a coffee. And I've heard from a father in Poland who wants to help his children with their homework, but feels like he's forgotten everything he ever learned. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about the 10 biggest reasons why people get stuck, and let's talk about how to break through each one. The first major reason is a concept I call the passive consumption trap. We spend so much time listening and reading, which are fantastic, but we neglect the active part of language learning, speaking and writing. Think of your brain as a muscle. You can't get strong just by watching someone else lift weights. You have to do the lifting yourself. If you spend 90% of your time on passive input and only 10% on active output, you're not going to see the results you want. My advice? Find a way to create a speaking habit. It doesn't have to be a big, scary conversation. It could be talking to yourself in the shower. Narrate your day. I am brushing my teeth. I am making coffee. It sounds silly, but it's training your brain to form sentences naturally. Find a language exchange partner online. There are so many apps for that now. Just 15 minutes of real conversation a day is more valuable than 2 hours of silent reading. The second reason is the perfectionist's paralysis. We want to sound smart, sophisticated, and perfect. We're so terrified of making a mistake, of being judged, that we say nothing at all. But I'm going to tell you a secret. Every single person who is fluent in English has made thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of mistakes. It's part of the process. Think of it like a baby learning to walk. Do they get up, walk perfectly, and never fall? Of course not. They stumble, they fall, and they get back up. That's how we learn. The mistakes you make today are the lessons that will make you fluent tomorrow. So, please give yourself permission to be imperfect. Let go of the need to be perfect and just start talking. Next up, number 3, the grammar black hole. This is a huge one. Many of us come from educational systems that focus so heavily on grammar rules. We learn the names of all the tenses, the conditional forms, the obscure exceptions. And while that knowledge is useful, it's not the core of language. You don't need to know the name of the rule to use it. A native speaker doesn't stop to think, oh, this is the present perfect continuous, so I must use have been plus the verb with ing. They just say it. My advice is to shift your focus from why is this correct to how do native speakers use this? Learn through context. Don't just memorize the rule. See it in action through movies, books, and real conversations. Number 4 is a bit abstract, but it's critical. The lack of a clear why. Why are you learning English? Is it a requirement from work? Did your parents tell you to? If your reason isn't personal and deeply motivating, you'll lose steam. Your why has to be powerful enough to carry you through the tough days. Maybe your why is to travel the world without a language barrier. Maybe it's to read your favorite author's books in their original form. Whatever it is, write it down. Put it where you can see it every day and let it fuel your journey. Moving on to number 5, we have the isolated learner syndrome. Learning a language can feel like a lonely journey. You're sitting alone with your books, your apps, your flashcards. But language is about connection. Find a community. Join an online group, a Discord channel, or even a local language club if you can. Being part of a community creates a sense of accountability and makes the journey much more enjoyable. Share your frustrations, celebrate your small wins, and learn from others. Number 6 is about binge learning versus habit stacking. We all have those moments of inspiration where we spend 5 hours on a Saturday studying English. We feel great about it, but then we do nothing for the next 5 days. This is a common pattern, and it's not effective. Your brain learns through repetition and consistency. It's far better to do 20 minutes of English every single day than to do a 5-hour session once a week. My recommendation is to habit stack. Pair your English practice with something you already do every day. Maybe you listen to a podcast for 15 minutes while you're making coffee, or you review vocabulary while you're on your daily commute. Small, consistent efforts lead to big, lasting results. Let's talk about number 7. The pronunciation problem. Many learners focus on perfecting grammar and vocabulary, but ignore pronunciation. But this is where true communication happens. It doesn't matter how perfect your grammar is if nobody can understand you. Now, you don't have to sound exactly like a native speaker from London or New York. The goal isn't to erase your accent. It's to be clear and understandable. A great way to work on this is to use a technique called shadowing. Find a short audio clip from a podcast, a movie, or a TV show. Listen to a sentence, pause it, and then repeat it exactly as you hear it. Pay attention to the rhythm, the intonation, and the sounds. This trains your mouth muscles and your ear at the same time. Number 8, and this is a subtle one, is the vocabulary tunnel vision. We often focus on learning isolated words. We memorize lists of nouns and verbs. But a word's meaning often depends on its context. A great way to learn vocabulary is to learn it in chunks. Don't just learn the word make. Learn phrases like make a decision, make a promise, make an effort. This is how native speakers learn, and it's much more effective for building natural-sounding sentences. Moving on to number 9, not knowing your own learning style. Do you know how you learn best? Are you visual, auditory, kinesthetic? If you're a visual learner, reading books, using flashcards, and watching subtitled videos will be very effective. If you're an auditory learner, podcasts, audiobooks, and speaking practice are key. If you're a kinesthetic learner, try role-playing scenarios and interactive games. Don't just use the methods everyone else is using. Find what works for you. And finally, number 10, the unrealistic expectations. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want to see results immediately. But learning a language is a long, rewarding journey. It's not about finding a magic bullet or a secret hack. It's about showing up every day and doing the work. You are on the right path. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate how far you've come and remember that every small step is a victory. The fact that you're listening to this podcast right now is a testament to your dedication. You've got this. So let's wrap things up with a call to action. I want you to pick just one of the things we discussed today and commit to it for the next week. Maybe it's 5 minutes of speaking in the shower. Maybe it's finding a language partner. Maybe it's just watching one episode of a TV show in English without subtitles. Just one small change, and see what a difference it makes. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the English Learning Crossroads. It was a pleasure sharing these insights with you. Remember to keep practicing, keep learning, and don't give up on your journey. I'll be here with more tips and advice next time. Happy learning, everyone!
Like, share, and subscribe our channel.